Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be yet again another Larlees Los Angeles launch video. I'm so excited because today I'm going to be sharing with you our holiday launch. Yay! I always like launch videos because it kind of gives me an opportunity to talk about Larlees Los Angeles, and I feel like I don't get to go in and talk about it as much as I would like to. So I don't know, pretty excited for today's video. Really excited for the product because it's a product we've never come out with before, but a product that I've been wanting to come out with for such a long time. I'm just gonna show it to you. You guys know I never mess around in the intros. I just get right into it so we don't waste no time. Let's just jump right in. So this is our holiday launch. I feel like this is my routine. This is it. This is the unit carton for it, if you will, but it's a blush palette. And you haven't seen the blush palette yet, but you've seen the unit carton and it looks real pretty and I love how it looks. But anyways, this is it. I created a blush palette for holiday 2021. And it's the prettiest little blush palette you ever did see. You'll see in just 1 second. It's called Blush Aesthetic. Basically, for the past few years, I've been finessing out and working on the aesthetic of my brands. And when it came to blush, I was like, what are we gonna name this palette? I thought about it, and I was like, the whole aesthetic of this launch is going to be pinks. It's going to be blushy. That's the aesthetic, but what do we name it? And then I was like, Blush Aesthetic. That's what it is. Name it what it is. It's Blush Aesthetic. So we named it Blush Aesthetic. I named it Blush Aesthetic. Also super exciting, this palette launches right now. It's available. You don't have to wait. You guys know that's how I've been doing my launches, just immediately as I launch the video and not making you guys wait. That has just honestly been the best thing ever because you guys don't have to set an alarm. You don't have to wait. You don't have to miss it. You can just click and order it. And our past 2 launches have sold out, and I feel like it's because people appreciate being available. I understand there's totally a purpose in creating hype with brands, but this is just what's worked for Larlees Los Angeles. This is how we've been doing it, and it's been so successful. So our palette launches right now. You guys can click the link below or go to larleeslosangeles.com to purchase. This palette will not be discounted this holiday season, but right now we'll have 20% off the rest of the website. So if you use code LLLA20, you'll get 20% off everything else other than this palette. It will not be up for discount, just to disclaim that. But it's 28 bucks. It's such a good deal, and the colors are absolutely gorgeous inside the palette. I just can't wait for you guys to use it. Also, don't forget to tag Larlees Los Angeles. If you use it in your looks, we'd love to see. We'd love to repost you. We'd love to see that. So that is that. And I'm gonna get a better shot because the lights are completely blowing this out and you cannot see it. So I'll overlay a better shot of it while I talk about it. But this is it. It's actually an 8-pan palette. It has 7 blush shades and 1 highlighter shade in it. Just because I find that when I travel, I typically wouldn't take a palette like this traveling. I just take 1 blush, 1 highlighter, 1 bronzer. But in this palette, I went ahead and popped a highlighter in. So it'd be more useful with me with traveling or carrying it around. This is one of my favorite highlight shades. I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing a mixture of the blushes on my cheek. I'm gonna pop a few more on just so you can see the vibe of them, but this is it. We have deeper blushes. We have lighter bridal blushes. This is called Bridal Pink. It's a really pretty nude pink shade, and it is a bit lighter as well. It's this one for a lighter skin tone. And then over here, we just have that classic matte peach. We have some pretty deeper mauve colors, the classic pink, a lighter pink, a corally red. It's called Strawberry Ice Cream, a sangria. It's the color of sangria. It's really beautiful, kind of maroony matte. They're all matte blushes. It's just what I go for the most, and I find that sometimes shimmer blushes, they're great, but they emphasize my pores on my cheeks. So what I like to do is, if you want to make any of these shimmer, kind of like I did today, you can just add a little bit of the highlight shade and bam, you have a shimmer blush. But in all honesty, I reach for the blushes. On my eyes today, I actually have the blushes as well. They're not an eyeshadow, but I just used them as an eyeshadow because I like to dip and dab in everything, and I thought, why not? Today's the reveal. Oh. So this is it. It is an 8-pan palette. So let's jump into some more information about it, which I've already talked about this on the podcast. I already told you guys I switched makeup labs, so you already know about that, but I just think the respectable thing to do whenever you do switch a lab is to be vocal and have a conversation with your audience. And again, I already talked about this on the podcast, but I'm gonna repeat a little bit of it just so everybody's in the loop. My lab was in California that I've used for almost everything, not everything, but almost all of my launches. and I ran into a lot of issues with labs in America, if you will, but specifically the labs I use in California. The people who make our packaging are different from the people who make the actual product, but the people who make our packaging, you know, we were in conversation with how we're having trouble with the labs overcharging. We're having trouble with them not getting us our product, because whenever you're a small indie brand, you are on the back burner for these big labs out here. You are. That's just what it is. If you're not ordering as many units as like L'Oreal or Urban Decay, they don't really care about you or your product, and they're gonna charge you a lot more because your units are less. So that's just how it works. And so I basically couldn't get product made, and I talked a little, again, on the podcast, I talked about this and kind of went into it, so I feel bad for repeating it all. But like whenever I came out with Nudie 2, I felt like the lab really played me with it, because the 2 shimmer shades in Nudie 2, I've been working on forever, and I created them, and once, you know, it was completed, we worked in a pretty tight timeline as a small indie brand. We don't work like 3 to 4 years out like the big conglomerate brands do, so they have time to work out pricing and kinks. Well, the big labs, like, they know that we're on tight timelines. They know that we kind of order, it comes in, we launch it. We order it, it comes in, we launch it. Really quicker turnaround there. So we work about a year out, which, shocking, that's a quick turnaround. You know, my last 2 eyeshadows finalizing in that palette were the 2 shimmer shades, and I finalized them right in time for us to place the order for them to go into manufacturing, just for it to come out in time for holiday. Like, everything was on such a tight timeline with that palette, and they came to me last minute and they were like, by the way, we know you're done with this palette and it's going into manufacturing, but those 2 shades you approved, we just found out. They're like the most expensive shades ever. Like they're gonna cost an ungodly amount. And I was like, what do you mean? Why wouldn't you tell me this up front? And they're like, well, you can still change it, but if you change it, it won't come out in the holiday season. I just feel like the business was not fair for a small brand. If you're a huge brand, you're probably not gonna run into as many products like that, because you would have time to be like, nope, not gonna pay for it, we're gonna reformulate, you know, or something like that. Whereas a small brand, they knew I couldn't really do that. So listen, that wasn't the only problem. That's just one problem I'm comfortable telling you guys about, but there was just like a lot of chaos behind the scenes, which again kind of like burns you out having to deal with that. But anyways, the people that made our components, we were venting to them. They know all the labs, and they're like, we have another lab we'd like you to try. And so I was like, I'm down. Please, for the love of God, get me another lab. And they did. This lab is in China, and I want to be upfront and say this was made in China, but the price of this palette is so much less because of that. So you guys get a price break because of it. Of course, I made sure the quality was the same as what I expected here, made sure the ingredients were good, and it was. So overall, it's been very challenging being a small business and having a makeup line. And if you watch the podcast, you already know I kind of like vent about this a little bit. And you guys have supported us so much and have made us what we are and have gotten us to how far we've gotten so far. So I can't thank you enough for that, but I just think having an honest conversation with you guys is the best policy. And just telling you guys like my story and why we're switching and why we went with this lab and why we're leaving that lab and just some of the run-ins that we've hit. So that's that. And yeah, let's talk a little more about the blush palette. So it's 28 bucks for 8 pans. This probably cost around 45 if I made it at my original lab. So again, there's a huge price break, which is nice. This is like my favorite thing on earth. I'm about to apply it right now so you can just see it in action yourself. By the way, our brushes, the full brush set, comes back in January. I was trying to get them back by this Christmas and we couldn't. They sold out when we launched them. I can't get them back till January 2020, so they'll be back in a few months, but they're gonna come with an additional brush, so it'll be 11 brushes, because this kit didn't have one brush that you guys wanted really bad, so I'm like revising that. All right, so I'm already pretty highlighted, but I just want you guys to see it. It's like a golden, really beautiful gold highlighter. It's called Golden Haze. I'll put some on my forehead, put some, you can see right there. It's almost like rose goldy, little on the nose. Oh, it's such a pretty highlighter. I can't wait for you guys to try it out. Put some over here. Gorgeous. So that's the highlighter. I'm gonna tell you these blushes are pretty pigmented, so don't go in too heavy-handed with them. Like, you're not gonna need to bam, bam, bam them with your brush. You can kind of tap in and tap them on. They're pigmented. So I'm gonna take a little bit of peach fuzz and just to the apples, it's pink. Like, these blushes will give you that power punch of color. So So you're not gonna need to go in with a very heavy hand. They all fabulous on their own. I'll do swatches on my own on my arm of the rest of the colors so you guys can see them and how they look on my skin tone. But they're gorgeous, very pigmented, nice and matte, and also a highlighter shade if you wanted to add that extra bit of shimmer. You have it in the palette. 8 shades for $28, not a bad deal. And of course, like in all my reveal videos, I'm gonna be giving away some to you. Every reveal, we pick some winners to win the palette. So this time I'm gonna pick 5 winners to win from YouTube and 5 from Instagram. So if you wanna go ahead and follow me on Instagram, just let me know you're following me and leave your handle down below so I can double check, and I'll pick 5 people from that, and I'll pick 5 people that are subscribed to me and leave a comment down below on this video. That easy to enter, so just subscribe and leave 1 comment down below. You're entered. If you're already following me on Instagram, you can just leave your handle in your comment and you'll be entered for both. So good luck on that, and I'll put the end date and more information on that in the description box right down below. But yeah, that's it. Be sure and pick up your blush aesthetic palette. You guys can click the link in my bio. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. I will have all the information for that in my description box right down below. All you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment, or you can also follow me on Instagram if you want an additional entry there. And yeah, I love it. I love the pink vibes. I pretty much made it as neutral pink as I possibly could. But it gives me so much joy, and we have so much fun with Miss Unicorn over here with a collage. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here and watching. Be sure and subscribe before you leave. Let me know your thoughts down below. I always enjoy your feedback, and happy holidays to everyone. I hope this time of year is beautiful for you and just such a great time to spend with family and friends and just people you vibe with and that you like to be around. I love you guys, and with that being said, that's it for today's reveal video, and I will see you in my next video.